I've been in the CIO role for 16 years. When I joined this role, it was very much about fixing backbone, modernizing backbone. Moved after some years into front end, enabling collaboration, and pandemic really showed the importance of that. And now I spend much of my time really co-creating with business and driving transformation of our business.
Thank you. And Mohammed, how about you?
Well, I think we've seen it over the last, as you said, 40 years. It moved away from focusing on hardware and software into becoming really the shadow chief X officer. The CIO nowadays needs to be the shadow chief marketing officer to enable the sales force and the customer to get closer to the customer. The shadow chief financial officer, because they hold the largest budget in the company, in most companies, and so on. So they are now intertwined, and they are essentially the enabler of the entire organization. So they are at the center of the actions.
Thank you. And Sampath, you represent one of the largest banks in the region. How is the CIO role for financial services?
I think over the past few years, what has happened is the role of CIO, especially in a financial organization, has become a very inclusive role. It's no more a support function where you're sitting at the back and actually delivering what the business and the other functions do. You have become part of what they're doing. So it's become, you become part of the business, you become part of the support functions, and we sit with them across the table in terms of what their thought process, what strategy that we want to do, and then accordingly educate them, and then see how you can enable in what they want to achieve. So it's become more of a front-end role rather than a back-end role, and it has evolved quite a lot in terms of how do we partner with business at the beginning stages of their thought process. It's no more that the business thinks and then after that you come and analyze what you want to deliver. You need to be part of the process in the front line and then accordingly steer in terms of what can be done and what cannot be done. So it has evolved quite a lot in terms of always being with business all the time, walking on the floor, understanding customer expectations and what we can do from a CIO perspective, and then educate them. So that's why I think the role has evolved quite a lot, not to sit in the back end, but you have to be very much visible and present in the front end to deliver the current strategies.
So really an integral part of the C-suite.
Absolutely.
As we see it today. Yeah. And what about you, Alessandro? How is it for you in the pharma business?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think what my colleague said is spot on. I mean, we evolved from the back end, like you said, to be more front end. I remember that 10 years ago we were technologists, now we are sort of business leader. But also interesting, I think even ourselves, the profile is changing in terms of development. So I did 25 years in the business, and then I moved into the digital world. And similarly in the company, we are trying to move people from the digital world into the business and from the business into digital. Because really the lines are blurring, and the more we bring expertise across the two fields, the more we believe we gain competitive edge.
Thank you for that, Alessandro. And I want to stick with you, and I think you sort of touched on that, but obviously you operate across the globe. How do you ensure that you don't have silos within that digital world? How do you make sure that they are, working together and impactful?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and that's a question that we always ask ourselves, really, how to break silos. And also when we use the overused word of digital transformation, we try to make it what we said on a T-shape. So we want the digital transformation to be horizontal, and we want to be vertical in the different groups. And that's very important because only horizontal will remain superficial, only vertical will create silos, like you pointed out. So it's a T-shaped transformation. And in this context, in order to overcome the silos barrier, what we do is that obviously we'll try to develop joint team, really more and more cross-functional team. We have established a digital executive council that has business and digital people into it. And then we care about the reward recognition, because there is nothing more than creating a culture of reward recognition against breaking silos that will move digital forward.
Thank you. And Mohammed, moving to you, you represent the private sector, and we've already heard the mention of customer, But with a customer and employee experience being paramount, how do you ensure that technology solutions are designed still with that human-centric focus, and how do you actually measure their impact?
Our businesses stand around the customer at the end of the day. And it's all about how do we come closer, how do you understand them more, without being intrusive. But how do we bring, we have malls and we have our retail chains, whether it's supermarkets or fashion. And it's all about how do we bring them to the stores and provide a customized solution to all of them and a customized experience. And to do this, we have to be able to understand what they like. And we have to enable our customers to get closer. So, our employees. So, and to do this, particularly in this day and age, we need to be always on the top of our game, know what's up in the technology world, and also see the shifting habits in our ever or more complicated customer who became very demanding, very impatient, and very diverse and very wide-ranged. And it's sometimes the interesting part, and I see many organizations invest a lot of money on tools and solutions, but sometimes the smallest things matter, it matters more to the customer. So for an example, we had a great experience where we introduced the digital concierge for our malls. And that gained a lot of traction. It was just a simple solution. It was about putting customer service on WhatsApp for people if they're running behind, if they forgot to buy a gift for a loved one, or needed flowers or needed something, just to chat with someone and get it for them and either deliver or pick it up. So it doesn't have to be a complex Gen AI-driven solution that costs billions. It's the simplest things that sometimes matter more.
So a more personalized sort of Amazon style. Thank you. Sampath, coming to you, First Abu Dhabi Bank has recently partnered with Microsoft to develop new banking capabilities and has set up an AI innovation hub. What steps can CIOs such as yourself take to ensure that experimentation with new technologies is not just a short-term initiative or a fad, but actually lead to sustainable long-term outcomes?
So basically, I think what we have done is, we clearly knew what is the roadmap that we need to do in the next 3 to 5 years, right? And how do we basically, communicate this to the partners, and how do you choose the right partner? That was one of the important, I think we did a very unique sort of a model and approach. What we did is we invited all the strategic partners into one room. And they were all surprised. This is the first time that a competitor sitting next to each other. But the idea is to how do we basically communicate the strategy to our strategic partners, and accordingly choose them right capability, right partner. Who is the right partner for the right capability? Idea is to just give an overall 5-year roadmap to all the partners, and accordingly choose or specific capabilities, specific partners. And one of the message actually we want to communicate to all the partners is, this day and age, all vendors have to collaborate between each other. Any single vendor cannot operate on silos, so you need to collaborate as part of the ecosystem. So even a simple capability that you want to implement, a digital journey end-to-end, or a cloud adoption, or a generative AI capability, there are different platforms giving different capabilities. So idea is to communicate to the partners that how they need to collaborate in order for them to be successful and all for us to be successful. So that's the approach we followed. And one of the, I think, key areas that we focused on is that, we are a multi-cloud strategy, organization. So we use multiple cloud providers. And we use, in order to leverage delivering capabilities to the business on a time-to-market quick basis, so we thought that we should leverage the services in the cloud, right? In terms of the security, data protection, new capabilities, new services. And the only way for us to deliver quick use cases to business is to partner with the vendor who can accelerate our journey. So Microsoft was identified one of the partners because we use a lot of Microsoft-related platform capabilities. and it's the right choice for us to basically partner with them to use their expertise on the financial services industry, which they have been dealing with multiple financial organizations across the different geographies, and also use our internal thought process between our skills and capabilities from our internal teams. So it was a tri-party collaboration between the bank, the partner, and some of the consultants. So we came up with short-term and long-term goals. Short-term and long-term goals, especially on the AI, which is the buzzword where everybody is talking about. These days, technology is not coming only from CIO. There is a request which is coming from the senior management, because there is so much of industry knowledge that is available, and how there is a pressure from the top saying that how you are going to do this in our organization, others are doing, right? So we created a tri-party sort of a strategy, first educating across different layers what we want to do from an innovation hub perspective. So we started with very small use cases in order to prove the proof of concept of some specific areas. And now we have a roadmap for next 2 to 3 years across different business areas, starting from human resources to finance to compliance to risk to fraud, all areas. We have identified a set of use cases which is going to be the long-term benefit of delivering customer experience, operational excellence, financial performance. So there's a 3 to 5 year roadmap, and that's the way that we have looked at with the partners, short-term and long-term vision.
Thank you. And presumably, technology is changing so fast that you need to take both that short-term but the longer-term approach. And as we've heard, Mats, technology is one of the driving forces behind this sort of organizational change, and the challenges that we face are becoming increasingly complex. What sort of traits do you see an effective CIO as a leader should have?
Many. But let me summarize some aspects. I think the abilities in orchestration, innovation, integration, and interpretation is some things that I want to lift up today. And a couple of words on each of them. Orchestration. There's so many things we need to orchestrate. Cybersecurity, compliance, business needs, employee experience, and we need to be able to orchestrate that with the business and customer in mind. So we need to be a Swiss Army knife from that perspective, for sure. When it comes to innovation, we need to be part of innovating. We need to try out new technologies. We need to be in the front end, co-creating with business, testing, evaluating. I try to be customer zero in a lot of what we bring to the market in the next step to ensure that we know internally what we give our customers. And thirdly then, integration. We need to integrate business with business, departments with departments, technology with technology, and humans with technology. And I think that's an exciting area now with AI. It's not only about putting AI into place, it's ensuring effectiveness of how humans and AI can interactively operate to really bring value to both customers and employees. And lastly, interpretation. Very much about interpreting the tech language with the business language. And I see usually quite a big gap in understanding, communicating, and a lot of IT departments not so good in explaining in business terms what technology could lead to. Also, I don't see a lot of business representatives really good at articulating requirements on the IT solutions. So how to co-create and how to interpret the different demands and opportunities. These are some of the aspects.
So that's where the CIO becomes the bridge between technology and the business, as we've
I think
sort of
that's
heard.
a very, very important role.
It sort of underpins the whole thing. Alessandro, Merck's obviously focused on healthcare and research, but how do you leverage technology to enhance collaboration and innovation amongst your teams across the globe?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very, very important point for us, because being a global company focusing very much in healthcare, in the future of healthcare is only in the space of predictive medicines and proactively treat all the patients. We really want to leverage technology in such a way that fosters two elements: collaboration. And when we talk about collaboration, we talk about a frictionless experience for all the users. That means that the user should be able to collaborate in every single moment for wherever place they are. And what we call it is like having collaboration in real time at your fingertips. That's a must. That's a must in today's world. We have seen it throughout different experiences. COVID was one, that everybody should really leverage technology to collaborate from every single space. The second element of collaboration or technology is the enhancement of innovation, like Matt says. That is also very important. And I see technology play two elements here on the innovation. One, to be able really to make sure that all people from different gender, nationality, culture, age innovates together, and technology could really be enabler in that. And then, of course, the overhyped use of AI. So technology like AI would really help to drive innovation moving forward. But I like the comment that was made by you, Mohammed, that simplicity is key. I mean, having this digital concierge, we have done something similar, is really something that helps to foster collaboration and innovation. So shouldn't be the latest and greatest technology tool. Simplicity and having the user and the customer in mind is always key.
The Italian meal style.
Yes, well said.
No, thank you. And actually, Mohammed, coming back to you, and you did touch on it slightly, but how do you ensure that within a customer-centric organization such as yours, that your employees are not only equipped, but empowered to deliver exceptional service?
We try to do it in it's like three stages. One, you need to give them a very strong infrastructure to stand on, and to be able to allow them to leap forward and jump high, which unfortunately in the day and age of AI, nobody talks about too much, but actually it's what everything is built on. This is why we're going through a huge phase of exciting transformation, where we're actually replacing our ERP systems, our employee systems, and how do we interact with procurement, and all this digital transformation is designed to give a fully newly updated platform for our people, for our employees to be able to stand on with confidence, because that builds the data infrastructure that's needed for all the exciting AI and Gen AI future. The second piece is the simple and how to get them closer to people, which is what we consider the mic. So now you have all this information. What are you going to do with it? And how can we bring you closer, as I said in the past, whether it's through very complex algos that are on our digital platforms to know and predict how people want to buy in and shop for things, or it's as providing just a simple WhatsApp platform. The third element, which was honestly the biggest learning curve for me, which is actually the change management aspect. We assume that when you give someone a tool, that you immediately have a buy-in. But the anxiety of change and the anxiety of these tools and what do they mean? What do they mean to my job? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Like, take a step back, and everything that was said about Gen AI screamed, your job is at risk. And now I'm telling them, oh, I'm creating this sandbox for you to come and experiment. And everybody's like, yeah, thank you. No, it's fine. So it's how to build that collaboration, how to also help them understand what do all these tools mean. And honestly, if you also taking a step back and remember, it's not about the technology. The technology is an enabler.
Yeah.
It's not the end. So, and this is a common mistake that I see many technologists do. It's all about, we implemented X. I'm like, but what did it do?
Yeah. No, thank you. And Sampath, very quickly, you talked about the collaboration between First Abu Dhabi Bank and Microsoft and consultants, but how do you ensure that you're fostering innovation amongst your employees and take them along a little bit like Mohammed was talking about?
See, innovation has become part and part of what we do on a daily basis. It's not like something which we do once in a year as a activity that bring everyone together, and then it's become part and parcel of whatever we do. Any new capability, any new platform which business wants today starts with innovation. That how better we can deliver. Do we deliver the traditional way, or do we need a better way? Because more and more pressure is there on cost optimization, rationalization, and how do you quickly deliver. So we need to bring all the brains together at the beginning and then innovate to see how we can deliver the capabilities quickly. So it's not something which we do once in a while. It's become part of every single capability that we want to do. And that will continue with new like Gen AI and ChatGPT and DeepSeek, so many things coming in and all across your organization aware about these technologies. So we bring everyone together and it becomes part and parcel of the regular process and not a single activity which we do once in a year. Yeah.
Lovely, thank you. And Mats, finally, in the few minute and a half we have left, how is Ericsson equipping its workforce to deal with changes in technology?
Yeah, Ericsson is a technology company. We are providing technology solutions in telco globally. So we are dependent on technology, and there is a huge interest of technology, which helps as well. So I would say two things. First, we democratize and enable as much as possible. One example in Gen AI is that we have built a safe playground. We have 30,000 users testing AI, learning, and we are putting all new LLMs, whatever, DeepSeek, Gemini, OpenAI, everything is on there. So developers and citizen developers can learn, test, and grow. But we also, in parallel, do changed focus areas. We have chosen in the C-suite jointly 3 areas. Content creation, where we think Gen AI already has a big potential. Learning development, training, creating that very quickly, very easily. A lot of marketing material. Customer support, and thirdly, software development. So I think by democratizing, enabling, create curiosity at the same time, have clear focus areas where you really double down to ensure that you get the customer experience, employee experience, or the business value you need.
Great, thank you. And on that note, I can't believe we're already out of time, but thank you to all my panelists. If you want to hear about the future of the CIO role, come back next year because we've run out of time today. Thank you.